Okay, I'm at Moparty, and I'm at the, they moved the survivor's tent so I can actually get to it easy. And I have one of the weirdest survivors ever. I was talking to the owner the other night. I don't know where he is right now, but the car is open. So this is an odd survivor because it's a Chrysler Newport Custom, and they're on a lot of these. So it's a two-door C-body that is just enormous. This car has 18,000 miles on it. And literally everything is like from the factory, except they added an electronic ignition to it to make it run better. But other than that, you know, it has little battle scars. When the doors close, the trim doesn't line up because we're Chrysler. But this is the weird thing about the car. It has a gator top. This is a very rare option. Usually, like Challengers had this. To see a Chrysler with this top is awful weird. And it's also, if you didn't notice, it isn't black. It's like gator color. It's brown. And then we look on the inside. This is high-end luxury Chrysler at this point. I mean, this car pretty much has every option for 1970. Actually, I think it has every option because the sunroof wasn't available to 71 or 72. That's just it's a massive car. And getting parts for it are impossible. So this thing being a survivor makes it like the best example ever. So we just kind of, you know, the Chrysler C-bodies didn't sell very well with this fuselage shape because they went away from a traditional kind of post in the back, squared up car and gave it a long fuselage, shape. The sales in 69 and 70 were really not good. So there weren't many of these to start with. And actually to find one like this that is nice is amazing. So this is really one of those cars that you just don't see. And it's outside of the tent because it's enormous and it doesn't actually fit in the tent. I'd say it's about 225 inches long. Cool. It does have 15s. And of course, it has to have the 1970s navigation. Newport Custom. So we have a 1960 Chrysler Windsor. This is just an absolute, the peak of the Chrysler forward look styling. With the Golden Lion 383. This car's just beautiful. Black, which is impossible to keep nice. Look at that. Chrysler Windsor. This was a Virgil Exner design. And I did that video on Virgil Exner, and you can see the way he used tail fins. They brought them out, and it actually accentuated the lines on the car. So they weren't there for just to be gaudy. He actually felt they helped the aerodynamics too. Look at the size of that trunk. That's how you go traveling. So this is a 1991 Dodge Dakota convertible. They did crazy things in the early 90s with the Dakota, and this is a really cool. I've seen a few of these. This is an original with, I mean, just wow. Absolutely amazing. Air. Yep. Only 8 were produced in 1991. This is the last year to V8. And there are very few Dakota convertibles with V8s in it. This truck is also a 91 Indy 500, as Dodge was the official truck that year. That's right, and they had a 500. They had an Indy 500 model. Look at this thing, though. This is amazing. The condition on this is crazy. So you got a convertible top and a nice long bed. So here's the Malaise era Magnum that was. Look at this. 77. They got rid of the Charger name and went to Magnum. Wow. 1967 Coronet 440. Absolutely straight car. So this is a giveaway car. That's craziness. Barn find, 78,000 miles, 440, 1.5 ton two-wheel drive. Holy mackerel. It's one of the last years of the 440. Look at this truck though. Long bed. Wow. Absolute farm truck. D100. And here's my favorite one underneath here. It's a 71 Charger RT 440 Magnum that, oddly, they went crazy with the black paint because a Survivor, they painted everything black. On my car, this is body color still, and there's body color up halfway. But whoever did that day just liked the black paint a lot. Yeah, this is a real Charger RT. And here's the window sticker. Look at that. $4,500. Bucket seats, super track pack, so it's a 4-speed. Console, manual transmission, 4-speed, 440. Tinted glass on all windows. That was actually that was a big deal. $52 for that tack. Got the AM FM. Vinyl roof for $95. And the white raised letters. That was free. T93. And there's all the codes. If you wonder where if you read, you have a code book, whatever, that's where they get them from. It was the internal codes, and they did use those on the order sheets. So here's all the cars. That was a 60 Chrysler Windsor. There's a 67 Imperial Crown down there. There's a Hemi Satellite. This Survivor. 67 Coronet, which we looked at. 75 Dart Special Edition, which had the same special edition as my car. 79 Magnum XE, so it's a 79. Wow. One of 1600 GTs. There can't be many of those left. The Dodge Dakota 500. 71 RT. 79 Roadrunner, which we're going to see, which is similar to my friend Russ's. 70 Roadrunner. 1970. Wow. See, and we're going to go look at the 69.5 Roadrunner A12, and we just looked at the 76 D100. And here is Survivor A12 car, which is amazing because this was a factory-built race car. In 1969.5, Chrysler just said the heck with it, and they did what the kids already were doing, put black wheels, and that's loud. That's a monster truck. That's that thing. So what they did, Chrysler, is they made this a street race car. They have a lift-off hood, which is sitting over there. It's made of fiberglass. 446 pack with Edelbrock custom made those for Chrysler. So that was an Edelbrock unit on a stock car. And these are bare bones cars. They came in automatics and 4-speeds, and no air conditioning available. It was a purposely built car. To see one here as a Survivor is amazing. Here's that Dart, the 75 Dart, custom special edition. If you see in the back, that's the same special edition as my car because they kept using it. But look at this. This is how, before you had the lean burn set up, this is how they looked in 75. Lean burn came in 76. He still had some EGR stuff, but honestly, it was still a decent running engine at this point. So it's a 318. This is a good little car. It's a 70 Roadrunner. It's a 446 pack, 4-speed, of course. 410, 446 pack. Wow. Actually, 6-barrel. That's wrong on here. This is actually supposed to be a 6-barrel. Built October 1969. Someone's having its birthday. It was delivered November 6th. Burnt orange, which I love. Original interior and paint. Garage kept. 7,400 miles on it. First time I got rain in 1986. Look at this though. Non-N96 car, so no air grabber. And here's the Imperial, 1967 Imperial Crown 4-door coupe. So there was their own line at that point, and it was only 17,000. It did not go very well. This is after Virgil was designing them. They have their build sheet, which they found on the back seat. See the marks. This was $6,400 then, which they say 62, but it's be $100,000 car today. See, and the engine was turquoise. wasn't orange or blue, it was turquoise. And this is just an amazing, look at the sedan, wow. This is a long car. So here is a Malaise era 79 Volare with the lean burn system. We're going to probably do a thing on lean burn because we're talking about the electronic ignitions. So all the electronics are inside the head there. It's inside the pipe hand, so that's what was the issue with it. This one's actually had half a chance of not being bad. It was a V8 Roadrunner. So what they did is they Roadrunner packaged Volares to give them some sort of something to pep up sales, because sales were very bad for Volare because of the poor quality control. They usually rusted. That is amazing that this car is in such great shape. From the factory, they had dipped them in water before they did the paint on them, and yeah, they honestly would rot all in the lower corners. The trunks would rot out. The fenders would rot out because they dipped in water, then they put the rust protection on. So it was really not a great thing. This is such a good car, and it's a shame that they just let the quality control let the car down. So there we go. There's the survivors here, and it's nice that they put them down in the midway. They used to be stuck out in the show field, and it's really a testament and how each car got saved and was able to be used without without getting destroyed. And I mean, these are 50, 60-year-old cars now, and and each one the story is different how they didn't get trashed. So especially that work truck, that D100 over there, because honestly, those trucks usually got beaten on farms because that's what it was. So, wow. All right. So these guys actually do drive these cars. I know this guy does. And so if this guy can take his car out, you can take your car out, and because you're going to make someone's day, and it'll probably be your own. And well, I'll catch you very soon. Thanks.